Well, everybody, we now get to move on in the aftermath of the ghostly Calder Cup. The Chicago Wolves getting it done, finally winning something. We send Heatley, potentially Pascal Dupuis as well, Zetterberg, Verbata. We send a lot of these guys up to the next level of the NHL as champions, in spite of Rick DiPietro's terrible performance. It wasn't great, Rick. It wasn't great. Oh boy, what else did I expect? I suppose the Buffalo Sabres have won the Stanley Cup in 2002, 2003, 2002. I've already lost track. The Buffalo Sabres have done the thing. Unbelievable. As again, we conquered the other one seed in the Hamilton Bulldogs in the Calder Cup final. The Sabres get revenge. I gotta text Architect. Hold on. So let me text the biggest Sabres fan I know. Give me a second. Texky, they did it for you. Revenge. Sweet revenge. Anyway. Unbelievable. Another final that was a final. Yeah, correct. This game's been loving the finals out of order or rematches of the finals. But there you go, the Buffalo Sabres, Stanley Cup champions. Take a look. Led by Brian Smolinski, Miro Shatan, Chris Gratton, Matthew Schneider, Doug Gilmore, Mike Johnson. And in goal, 38-year-old Dominic Hasek. I mean, there's a couple of different ways I could think to say that name. I will say thank you for the follow. I mean, it could be a Noxie. It could be an Oxys. Noxis. Who's to say? Let me know. Welcome in, though. Dominic Hasek's the GOAT. Let's take a look at the awards. Again, so far, yeah, it was season 3. So, 2000 Dallas, 2001 Detroit, your 2002 Stanley Cup champions, the Buffalo Sabres. There you go. There you go. Paul Kariya won the Art Ross Trophy, joining teammate Teemu Selanne. He also won... It's an Oxys. Like, I don't know if it's a reference to something that I don't know. Let me Google it. Look at that. No search results. It's an Oxys, like an Oxys. I don't fucking know. Again, there's a couple different ways you can spell it. It's not my fault. Pick a name, Jim. Why not Jim? What about Jim S? Capital S. Easy for me to say. It's my old Xbox gamer tag. Fair enough. Anyway. Norris Trophy went to Oleg Tverdovsky. Man, the Ducks were ridiculous, and they didn't win a damn thing. Paul Kariya wins the Bing. Calder Trophy goes to that generated dude, Canzanello. Is what it is. Again, Gabrick was the first real winner since season 1's messed up a little bit. Not by snipe, it's just the way the rosters work. Brian Smolinski wins the Conn Smythe Trophy, joining Modano and Fedorov. Martin Brodeur wins the Vezina Trophy for the 3rd year in a row. Kipper won the Jennings, Masterton, and Nick Boynton for the 2nd year in a row. Atlanta's head coach wins the Jack Adams for the 2nd year in a row. Eric Lindros wins the Selke. Paul Kariya wins the Ted Lindsay Award. And Pavel Bure has won the Rocket Richard. In the AHL, Henrik Zetterberg league leading, easy for me to say, goal scorer, not goal scorer, but point carrier. He might have been the goal scorer too, was he? He was league MVP and scored the most goals. See, I thought so. What a year for Henrik Zetterberg. Radim Verbata was the top rookie. Some dude named, was that like Len Pitlick? I don't fucking know. Was the best defenseman. We beat the top goaltender in the conference finals. Martin Prusek won it for Grand Rapids. Danny Heatley wins the Butterfield as MVP of the playoffs. So a great season for us. Again, we would have seen... better odds in the upcoming draft lottery had certain people not gone off, Connolly and Dumont especially, but we'll deal with the consequences. And with the young crop of talent that we have coming up, this team's going to be better sooner rather than later. But now the big question is draft lottery. We had top 8 odds, if I'm not mistaken. The 1 year that there is no movement whatsoever, Carolina retains the number 1 pick. We have the 7th overall selection at the moment. We're going to have to put some work in to end up with the top pick, and we're going to need a little bit of luck. Pavanka's gone, Sutter, Paul Ranheim, Bob Probert retired. Detroit won the cup last year and fell off a cliff, indeed. Defensively, Tommy Albaline, Joe Ricci. Not Gerald Diddick! At least he went out as a champion. Thank you, Gerald. And then Chris Terreri, the only goaltender to retire. So yeah, we got our work cut out for us. We do. Let's see what happens. Does anybody want to trade one of those top 3 picks? Fuck. We can't trade up at all unless we willingly get screwed on the value. Shit. It does have Nash 3rd behind the 2 generated players. If we stay where we are, we're projected for Bouchard, Bouwmeester, Higgins, Alex Semin, Alex Steen. I gotta find a way to trade up to 3. Vancouver, please. The problem is, you've seen it. When teams don't want to give up those picks, they command a lot. I'd be more than willing to use the 2nd round picks over prospects that we already have. So what about the 35th overall pick and the 7th for the 3rd? Is that enough? No. What if... Obviously, Lundqvist, he's going to be the AHL starter next year. Would you like a Calder Cup winning goalie and Rick DiPietro? Probably not. His value is not that good. It's going to have to be a draft pick. What about our 3rd rounder next year? Our first, which is 7th overall, 30th and 35th for the 3rd overall pick. Vancouver, what do you say? Fuck. What about the 3rd rounder next year? What about the 7th overall pick and 3 second rounders? And the 3rd. What about Mike Smith? The rights to Mike Smith. I don't think we can do it. There's no one I'm really willing to give up to make it happen either. What about like Renee Bork? No. It would take 2 first-round picks to move up. Or another future 2nd rounder. The 7th overall and 4 second rounders over the next 3 years for the 3rd overall pick. Yes. That's a lot to give up. That is a lot to give up. But it should be worth it. With the first pick, Carolina selects generated forward Nico Marjamaki. The 2nd overall pick, Detroit, takes generated forward Stefan Lalonde, leaving us with the 3rd overall pick to select Rick Nash. Worth it. Worth it, worth it, worth it. Worth it. Instant NHLer Rick Nash. Worth it. over whoever we would have gotten at 7 and a couple of 4 second-round picks. I don't even care. Rick Nash is here. Nash, Spezza, Heatley for a top line. With Dumont, Connolly, and whoever on the second. With the 4th pick, the Bruins select Duncan Keith. With the 5th overall pick, Pittsburgh takes the other generated dude, Paré. Big steal for them. LA at 6 take another generated dude in Iliakis. So who does Vancouver end up with our previous 7th overall pick? They get 77 overall, medium top 6 forward, Pierre-Marc Bouchard, who isn't bad, but man, he's not Rick Nash. Worth it. Worth it, worth it, worth it. We don't have another pick until pick number 119. I don't really have the space to trade up either. So we're probably just going to have to leave this as it is. We'll look back through the rounds, but for now, we'll move forward. We got an offer to take on Murphy. Yeah. So let's see. 5th round is what... Oh, baby. Hannu Toivonen. Good old Hannu Toivonen. Is there anybody else? Yanni Olivara. Unconfirmed quick pick. I mean, it's got to be Hannu Toivonen. It's got to be. So basically, Bouchard in 4 seconds for Rick Nash. Yeah. Which I got to be honest, I'm okay with. When in doubt, take the goaltender, former Bruin, Hannu Toivonen. Medium backup, that sounds about right. Our next pick is in the 6th round. At this point, I doubt we have too many recognizable names, so let's see. Connor Martins is apparently trash. Kirill Voinov's apparently trash. Our scouts like Kalle Gunnarsson, who is apparently trash. We'll go for Connor Martins as a generated dude. Why not? He might be up there. He's a medium 7th. Okay. And in the 7th round, where are we going to end up with here? A lot of dudes here. Christian Holmstrom, who is apparently trash. Melvin Perez might be half decent. Louis Shen and Zekov with unconfirmed big rig. We're going to go for Melvin Perez. Hey, look at that. 7th round, 65 overall, low elite Melvin Perez at 19 years old. Not bad. We haven't taken too many generated players so far, but that worked out pretty damn well. Rick Nash and Melvin Perez from the draft class here. Let's take a look back, though, at the 1st round. Because in terms of familiar names, Bouwmeester to Tampa, you had Higgins and Alex Semin rounding out the top 10. Then Yanni Pickett, Alex Steen, Joffrey Lupul, 13th to Montreal. Filppula to Atlanta, Trevor Daley, Ryan Whitney, Wisniewski, Dennis Weidman, Yuri Hudler, Franz Nielsen, generated dude, Keith Ballard, generated dude, Paul Ranger, Steve Eminger, Boyd Gordon to Washington, on point, Matt Stajan, and Scotty Upshaw as the 1st round. In the 2nd round, Dan Paille, Gregory Campbell, and Sean Bergenheim. Max Talbot, Ville Leno. Generated dude, Thomas Fleischmann. So, I mean, Vancouver ended up with quite a few 2nd-round picks, not just from us. Anton Babchuk to Tampa. Ryan Shannon to New York. Matt Green. Tom Gilbert, Eric Christensen, Peter Pruka. Beshkov. Is that Johnny Boychuk? St. Louis? Ian White, Mark Giordano, 26th to Washington. Damn, Kari Lettinen off the board there too. Must be Ashton Rome. Maybe would have been Aaron Rome at the time. Probably would have been Aaron, actually. Andre Benoit, Cam Ward to Vancouver. Eric Nystrom, Antti Niemi, Joey Crabb. I think that's Josh Harding to Boston at 15. Ben Eager, Patrick Thoresen. Cam Janssen, Ryan Carter, Tim Brent, Adam Winchester, or Jesse Winchester, Adam Burrish. Round number 4. I think that's Dwight King, Steven Gianna, Jeff Delorier, Pat Dwyer, Derek Meach, Nathan Oystrick. I mean, there's definitely some familiar names. Curtis McElhaney. But yeah, the familiar names definitely start to die down in that 4th round. Obviously, 5th round, we ended up with Hannu Toivonen, who is the last big notable name from this draft. So I feel pretty good about how we did, to be honest. It was a lot to sacrifice, but Rick Nash and what he does to this team, he takes us that much closer to that big step forward that we were already in line to make. So then to add a player of his talent is insane for us. And knowing, obviously, we could do some damage in free agency. Now, free agency, we'll be dropping Corey Hirsch. We'll be dropping Tim Thomas. Sorry, Timmy, but it just wasn't meant to be. We'll be signing Henrik Lundqvist to his ELC and dropping Wade Flaherty. We're probably going to have to make a decision between Backstrom and DiPietro as the backup because Lundqvist has to be the NHL starter. We'll see who's out on the open market, or we could sign one of these guys to be the AHL backup. Either way, we're fine. Defensively, obviously some big RFAs. Chara, Campbell, Eric Brewer. Robida's not going anywhere yet, at least. Mike Van Ryn. Jeff Finger we want to hold on to. Bobby Beers, thank you for your service. You can go for now. We want to sign Curtis Foster to his ELC. My dad can go. Roloff can go. And we're fine from there. Right wing side. Dumont needs to be qualified. Jamal Mayers can go. Steve Webb can go. Qualify Chris Neal. He'll probably be an NHLer next year as well. Left wing side, immediately signing Rick Nash. Rick Nash and Danny Heatley. Let's fucking go. Danye, we can hold on to you for now. John Sim as well. Could at least be an AHLer. Eric Bolton. Hold on to you too. Who's my dad? The joke is that's a former player named Chris Keller. Mika can finally let go of you. And then down the middle, Tim Connolly, Andy McDonald. We'll hold on to Nico Kapanen. Jake, hello. Mary Birthmas. We can sign Mike Rupp. We can sign old Rupper. Jason Spetz is getting close to being worth signing to. And we'll sign, of course, Joel Lundqvist to keep Henrik happy. We also drafted his brother. So let's see. Eric Bolton initially declines, but I imagine everyone else is going to say yes. For the RFAs, we're good. We got a shitload of RFAs too. UFAs now, it's just Eric Bolton. Eric, max deal for a two-way. What do you say? Yeah, it was easy now, wasn't it? Gave you money. Gave you money. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Jeff Finger took the qualifying offer. Danye Van Ryn. I mean, these are all just going to be qualifying offer acceptances. Before we take a look at free agency, knowing that we can now go for any of those big names that are out there. Kari Lehtinen did get taken in that draft, yeah. Let's see. I have a coaching spot open. AHL head coach Mateo Combs. Let's see how long it takes this to go to the max. Not nearly as long as it fucking used to. And I'll drink to that. Thank God. That used to take like a minute each. And then Persaud? Cameron. Don't tell me it's Cameron. That's Cameron. Cameron Persaud. We'll offer you a spot too, just because you'd be an upgrade on who we already have. So, from 2 minutes to 10 seconds. It's fucking beautiful, isn't it? Again, I had to fight for years to do that. Ridiculous. And then in terms of scouts, the Vezina Trophy winner, Schlemko, Elson Nordgren, Colby Weller, and Adele Julien. We actually had more open spots than I thought. Let's see. And that should do it. All right. So that should be staff taken care of. Free agency. Is there anybody out there that's going to entice us to try and sign them? Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Really quickly. For RFAs, they're both ours. For defensemen, it's only... Again, RFAs are fucking impossible in this era, though, so I'm just not going to do it. UFAs, Trevor Kidd, do we have any prospects? Jose Theodore, Huey, Vokun, Boucher, not exactly prospects. So, we're fine for goalies. For defense, Lubomir Visnovsky wants $10 million a season. I know there's no salary cap, but Jesus Christ, son, you only had a 32-point year. Kimmo Timonen, Adrian Aucoin, Kenny Johnson, Philip Kuba, Steve Duchesne. Okay, really quickly. Let's go look at our boys here. Defensively, obviously we have RFAs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we're going to have quite a few people in the mix. Which would mean quite a few trades we have to make depending on who we sign, if anybody. And obviously some of these defensemen make the team better. I don't know how Lubo's a top 2 already. That's insane. Dan Boyle's out there too. Philip Kuba. Scott Stevens is out there. Old man goes headhunting. I mean, there are some defensemen where it's like, yeah, okay, you know, sign Lubomir Visnovsky, trade Stefan Robida. It's not a bad idea. Stevens' checking is very high. He did have truculence. It's down to an 84, but he's also an old man. On the right wing is Pavel Bure. Behind him is Renberg, but if you're going to go for Renberg, you might as well go for Bure. Same thing as Glenn Murray. You got Jeff O'Neill, who's a little bit younger. Park actually doesn't want as much money as I would have thought. I'm going to go back. I want to go to the trade screen really quickly. Double check those forwards. It's not about salary cap space, but it is about playing the best players like that we have right now in those best spots. And within the top 6, we need a spot for Dumont and Verbata. Actually, within the top 9, not quite the top 6. So that is worth noting. Salary cap was implemented after the 04-05 lockout. So we do have a spot for a top line right wing. If we look at the left wing side, technically too many people as it is. I mean, technically, you know, it could go Nash, Heatley, Hyatt on the third line, just for the sake of his development, and Danye or whatever could fill out the fourth, and then down the middle, Spets is close. Spets is real close to being ready to go. Conley and McDonald are both top line ready right now. And again, Spezza might be the third. I mean, you know, the future plan was Nash and Heatley on the top line. We could put that on the back burner now to get Pavel Bure. The reason we do that is if we think we're going to be a playoff team as it is, then screw it. We might as well get Pavel Bure to just fucking go for it. So on the left wing, Jeff Friesen. There's really no space for Jeff Friesen. I mean, it would be him or Bure. Only reason to go for Jeff Friesen over Bure is Friesen's a couple years younger. I think 6 years younger, isn't he? So, I mean, Jeff Friesen not that bad. Nat Domicelli's there. Alex Tanguay. And then down the middle, obviously Connolly is ours. So the best center there is Danny Briere. It would be... I'd have to move McDonald if I were to sign Briere. And it's like, at that point, what's the point? They're about the same. Shout out to Alexander Daigle. It just seems to be all right to just say fuck it and go for Bure. It might cause issues in the future, but for now, you're talking about someone who just scored 72 goals. His durability is still decent. I said I wasn't going to raise the money offer just because I don't want to, automatically be able to max it out and just sign whoever I want. I will offer him what he is looking for in a couple of days. Let me double check prospects. We'll send him about 3 days and offer him a deal in case his target changes. No real prospects to go after either. Pavel Bure is going to be the target here. I'm trying to decide if I want to go for Lubomir Visnovsky. So I'll have the staff members. We get a trash offer from Nick Backstrom. No, thank you. Mateo Combs signed. Persaud signed. So our coaching staff just got better. And a lot of the scouts now coming through. All right. So Bure should still be there. And he is. We are going to send Pavel Bure the contract that he is asking for. Philly, Ottawa, Edmonton, San Jose, also interested. And defensively, probably makes the most sense for it to be Lubomir Visnovsky at his age. I mean, the coin's at 29. Visnovsky, 15 goals, 17 assists. I mean, Timonen was pretty damn... 98 passing for Lubo. Yeah, we're going for Visnovsky. He could turn into an absolute machine. Calgary, Carolina, Nashville, Arizona, and Ottawa all in for him. We have offers out for the top two. Will Pavel Bure be an Islander? Making us wait. Pavel Bure heads north and goes to Ottawa. As does Lubomir Visnovsky. Wow. What an off season for the Sens. The off season that we were hoping for. And a lot of the top free agents are gone. Defensively, I mean, Scott Stevens, Philippe Boucher. Again, Stevens isn't what he used to be. I'd rather just stick with the youth that we have. And then forward-wise, like, we could go for Glenn Murray. We could go for any of these guys, but I'd say screw it at that point and just play Heatley and Nash on the top line together. And that leaves room for Radim Vrbata in the top six as well. So I'm going to hold off on spending money from here. I'm going to stick with who we have. We'll fill out the team later on. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Ottawa got to live out the dream that we were hoping to see turn into reality there. Obviously, I think this upcoming season will definitely be a season to look around the league and see what the other Lions are like. So we'll do that soon. But, damn. That hurts. That hurts a lot. To be turned down both times for the Senators instead. And, of course, we get hit with the, oh, you didn't offer me. It's like, I offered you exactly what the hell you wanted. Again, you could argue, like, make it so you can pay them $1 million more, and that would be fun, too. But I do like some elements of drama, especially when there's no salary cap in this era and you could cheese the shit out of it. All right, we have to stop our sim here because apparently we have too few players under contract. That is because we still have a crap load of RFAs. So, Luongo, Backstrom. I'm shocked we didn't get any offer sheets, but again, like even JP Dumont at $4 million, that would be like 3 years. What was the deal with coach mode? We suffered a brutal loss, and I saw that Snipe put out these rosters, so I said, all right, we're moving on. All right, and then for unsigned players, we could sign Dan Blackburn, but he's technically in the W. Defense, Melvin Perez could technically be signed. Spezza can't be signed unless he's going to be in the NHL. Reed Shing could be signed, but he's trash. Okay. All right. So, hopefully I won't get in trouble for too few people to be signed. Doesn't look like I will, as all the RFAs accepted their deals. And that'll bring us to the start of the new season. One more check of the unsigned players. Spezza jumped to an 80. Hey, we're going to sign Jason Spezza. Spezza has made the NHL team. That's huge. That is huge. Good for Spets. All right. I had a feeling he might jump up, and he did. So let's get a look at the team here and see what we're dealing. Oh my God, Char is insane. So goalie-wise, Luongo, Backstrom, DiPietro, with Lundqvist in the minors. Somebody has to go. And it makes sense for it to be... It makes sense for it to be Backstrom, I would say. Right? I mean, he's not going to fully develop now that he's a starter in a backup role. It makes the most sense for Backstrom to get traded here. And he was very good last year. But yeah, we are going to run with Luongo and DiPietro as our tandem. And then the AHL goaltending will be Lundqvist. And then whoever we find on the free agent list. But yeah, Backstrom's got to go. Defensively, Chara, Campbell will be the top two. They're not going to be on their proper sides, but that's okay. It'll be Chara and Brian Campbell on defense. Eric Brewer will be with whom? Mike Van Ryn. And then that leaves three dudes. And Stefan Robida is the odd man out. At 25 years old, he's not going to get much better. We will stick with Biron and Gilson on defense, and we'll need to find a seventh. Because the AHL gets to be Dmitry Kalinin, Branislav Meze, Barrett Jackman, playoff hero, nearly playoff loser, Jeff Finger. And then we don't really care about Ray Schultz, but we do care about Foster. So that's fine. And then Schultz can be there too. Okay, so we do have a couple of people to sign to fill out the roster. Honestly, Schultz can be the third man. That's fine. Okay. Char and Campbell should be fantastic for us. I mean, Z has developed abilities back. He still just doesn't have the gold. But 94 passing, 99 slap shot power, 97 body checking. I mean, Chara's a monster. He's developed into Chara. Brian Campbell, well, he doesn't have any abilities, has 99 passing. These two should be fantastic together. I mean, each of them could kind of head up their own power play unit. In terms of the forwards, let's see what we have here now. Not going to worry too much about having people within their proper line or anything like that at this time. But we got Tim Connolly, JP Dumont. You got Andy McDonald. Zetterberg, Heatley, Verbata, Nash are all here. Connolly and Dumont were amazing together. I mean, there's 3 spots for 4 dudes, though. I think it's Verbata who's the odd man out, or Zetterberg centers his own line. That's a tough call. That's a real tough call. If we were to do that and go like Verbata with Connolly and Dumont, Heatley, McDonald, and Nash... Then we go Zetterberg on the 3rd line. Let's see, Dupuis 22. He could spend another season in the minors. Kapanen's ready to go. Pyatt's a 4th liner. Danye. Piernez is 25, so he could definitely be here. Jason Spezza. Fuck, I forgot about Spezza. He's going to be on this team too somewhere. Dude, the top 9 just got insane. Let's look at Darsh really quickly. So let's say that we have Kapanen. Say it's Pyatt, Zetterberg, Spezza. Kapanen's there. Danye. Darsh. There's a lot of options now. And then Piernez as the healthy scratch. That does work. Dupuis and Hunter can be kind of the big names of the AHL. Bednar as well, because we can run with Piernez instead. No one else is really ready to go. I think we have too many forwards, though. Maybe. I think the NHL is good for the moment. And then, in terms of the AHL for the forwards perspective, we have Pascal Dupuis, Trent Hunter, and Kolnick, who's still just 21 years old. He didn't even get to play that much last year. Bednar is a toss-up, I would say. John Sim at 24 can still get better. Line handle. Chris Neal. Eric Bolton is also kind of questionable just due to his age. Jeff Hogan. Oh, man. Actually, it gets to be a little bit more scary in terms of age. So we got Bednar kind of in a scary spot. I'm going to have John Sim. Wheels, I don't have one. I'm just going to wait and find out. Sim's 24. Fine handle's fine. Neal is fine. Bolton. Hogan's 24. We want to make sure that the younger guys get into the lineup first. So Chris Kalanos, Christian Berglund, Riku Hall, Mike Rupp is there now. Got Chris Kelly. We are running out of forward spots real fast. Jeff Taff, Colby Armstrong. It shows Peverly with Niagara, which is good. Renee Bork is here. And Joel Lundqvist. So I think if we get rid of Jeff Taff, factor in Joel Lundqvist, I get a big list of forwards to trade away to free up those roster spots. I think we got it pretty much figured out. I got a couple of moves to make, and then we'll have to kind of craft who plays where. But I now have a general idea of who needs to stay and who needs to go and who's going to play there, here, there, and everywhere. So does anybody want Nick Backstrom? 4th rounder, Carlo Koliakovo. I would technically have room for Koliakovo. Cujo. You know, we can do that. We can go for Carlo Koliakovo and have Schultz be the healthy scratch. So we'll say welcome in to Carlo Koliakovo for Nick Backstrom. Not exactly a fair trade for me, but I'm not too miffed about it. Goalie values being what they are. Does anybody want Stefan Robida? You should, because his value is very high right now. Second and a third is the going rate. Dude named Phillips is a medium 6 and a third. Kevin Bieksa in a 7th. I wouldn't really have space for Kevin Bieksa, though. But Phillips, I would have. Actually, no, I didn't have space for Phillips anymore. Christ. Second and a third might be the best way to go. Although Lepisto being offered by the Avs is pretty good because he's not signed yet. Anybody want to throw a first-round pick at me? That would seal the deal. I mean, honestly, Ron Tugnutt would be pretty good, too, for the AHL. Although he'd take away starting time from Hank, I'm sure. It looks like no one's going to offer an outright first-round pick. I like that Colorado deal because it was for a good prospect who is not signed yet and a third-round pick. So, Stefan Robida, have fun in Colorado. Make that work. Again, I wanted an outright first-round pick that I could kind of control my own destiny on. And then for the forwards, you got quite a few to get rid of. Bednar, anybody want you? Surprisingly, yes. For nobody that's signed, the best of the bunch is a dude named Grachev. I mean, whatever. It's fine. I don't care. I mean, I could have gotten a nothing pick for him, but who cares? Who cares? Eric Bolton, son of Michael. It's not true. Nobody wants you. That's not good. John Sim, does anybody want you? No. Jeff Taff? Nope. And what about Hogan, brother? All right, yeah, we've hit the point where we're going to have to find these deals on our own, which is fine, because we know plenty of teams like Dallas exist who haven't fucking signed anybody. Anaheim's one of them. There you go. So we need to get rid of Eric Bolton. Honestly, we could throw that Grachev dude in there. Jeff Hogan. Salary cap off. That was the AI. Not great. But that kind of sums up the AI in general. Fill out the AI teams yourself. That's just not worth the hassle. All right. These are all the dudes I no longer have space for. You give me a third-round pick for them? Cool. Oh, there we go. We got a free third-round pick from Anaheim as they pay the stupid tax. So with that, we need to sign a depth defenseman for the NHL. Is that Dale Purinton? It is the big enforcer. Dale Purinton's not a bad option. Is he my best option? Eric Cairns. Yeah, it's going to be a player like that. Darren Rumble, father of a legend. Father of a legend. We got to sign. We got to sign the man. Let's bring in old Darren Rumble as our depth defenseman at the NHL level. We need a depth goaltender. We could bring back old Timmy Thomas. Ty Conklin's there too. Do we have anybody? Cruz, Holmqvist. Okay. We'll bring back Timmy. Why not? We'll bring back old Timmy Thomas. And then in the AHL, we need people at like a 70 overall or lower. Let's go for Joey McDonald. Why not? It's his ELC, that's why. Like Fountain and Wade Flaherty. Rostislav Stanya. Again, it would be your ELC, though. I don't even care. Stanya's coming home. Let's go. And we'll go for old Wade Flaherty again. Why not? Keep him kicking around the system. And that should be the finalized roster for us this year. So obviously we still have a couple of things to switch up. Despite the fact that we did not land Bure or the other guy whose name is escaping me right now, and that's okay because he didn't want to sign here anyway. It's fine. It wasn't Marek Sedlichky, but I keep wanting to say it was Marek Sedlichky. But whatever. Despite the fact we didn't land our two big free agents, I feel like Lubomir Visnovsky, thank you. I feel like things went really, really well for us. Defensively, Chara, Campbell, Brewer, Van Ryn, Biron, Gilson. So we got to call up one Darren Rumble. Walker, what's going on, man? And for the forwards, we had room for Nico Kapanen, Payet, Danye, Darsh, Pernez. It's looking good. I want to see what Best Lines does. We still have, like I said, some things to fix, and we will. AHL still has some talent in it, which is good. And at the NHL level, I mean, it almost doesn't matter where we put people. But Nash, Spezza, Zetterberg, Heatley, Verbata, all new to the team this year. Dumont, Connolly, and McDonald, who have been here for years, are still here and cooking. The bottom six, fourth line might be a little bit eh. The defense, though, I mean, again, we'll probably go Chara Campbell. I think we could be a playoff team next year. If we ended up with Bure, we definitely would have been a playoff team next year. But I think we're looking pretty damn good indeed. We'll still have to fix some things up. We'll have to take a look at it, opposition's lines as well to see what the league's looking like heading into season 4. But I'm happy.